Now, it's a global phenomenon that today reached Britain. Hundreds of women marching through the streets in what they call a Slutwalk, demanding the right to wear whatever they want without being blamed for inciting sexual assault.
However we dress, wherever we go, yes means yes and no means no!
They marched in various states of dress through Edinburgh, Cardiff and Newcastle, protesting against the idea that victims of rape and sexual assault carry any blame for dressing provocatively. The Slutwalks were a response to the comments of a Canadian police officer who told students in Toronto that women should avoid dressing like sluts in order not to be victimised. The officer was disciplined, but the protesters say there's a culture of judging women that is wrong.
No matter what a woman wears, how drunk she is, where she is or what she's doing, there's never any excuse or reason to rape someone.
The Slutwalks have gone global, largely thanks to social media websites, but they've also been criticised from various angles, from being naive about women's safety to setting feminism back. Well, with me now, Elizabeth Hurd, who is organising a similar march through London next Saturday, and the writer and journalist Susie Dean, who believes the organisers are missing the point. Susie Dean, why? What have they got wrong?
I think the problem is that nobody thinks it's the victim's fault in a rape incident. And what's happened is the one idiot, for want of a better word, in Canada who has turned around and said this has been seized upon by feminists as some kind of proof that this is what the police think, it's always the victim's fault. The reality is that 60% of rapists that go to court end up being convicted. Women even feel like this because 50% more women are coming forward than they did in the 90s to report rape. So I don't think that this is, this is the way that the police work.
Elizabeth Hurd, it is a straw man, isn't it? Most people don't think.
I don't think that's
women are asking for
right.
it.
If that was the case, then only 6% or 6.5% of convictions are actually getting through. Therefore, the rest of those we have a real problem with those, because the blame is always put on the victim.
Susie Dean, do you think women do have a responsibility to be aware of how they're dressing?
Women can wear whatever they want, and I think women do wear whatever they want. If you walked around London today, there were half-dressed women and men out enjoying the sunshine. I don't think there is a cultural climate in which women don't feel that they can wear what they want to wear.
So there is no sense in which there should ever be a message to teenage girls or whoever that there is a, it's unwise to dress like that?
No, absolutely not. People should wear whatever they want. That's actually widely accepted, and that's what the problem is with Slutwalk. It's going back to the 60s and trying to recreate this problem that just isn't there anymore. The most damaging thing is that women do have real issues today, like the fact that childcare is so expensive, most women have to choose between having a job and having a family. That is where the feminist argument should be today.
So you're fighting the wrong battle?
I don't think so. I think that it's actually a tipping point now. When the officer said what he did, it was a reflection of exactly the problem that we face, which is that the focus for rape is always on the victim, and usually a female victim. I mean, men are raped, children are raped, old people are raped, but the focus is always on a woman when she's raped, and the onus is on her to prove that she's dressed appropriately for rape, whatever that may be. And hasn't had a drink, and our woeful conviction rates reflect that very well.
So again, you think there is no such thing for any age group or as a sort of inappropriate way to dress?
Well, as I said,
13-year-old girl in a dodgy end of town dressing very sexually,
well,
you don't think that's irresponsible in any sense?
There is no correlation between rape and the way a woman's dressed, ever. Women get raped in tracksuits, in their scratchy old jeans, etc. So it's got absolutely nothing to do with what she's wearing. And I mean, the fact that you actually mention that at all lets the rapist get away with what he's doing.
It doesn't let the rapist get away with anything.
Absolutely, the rapists are getting away with what they're doing. There's a lot of evidence to support that, but the focus is always on what the woman's doing and what the woman's wearing or not, or what her behaviour is.
What about the whole sort of arguments over the word slut? I mean, what do you think a slut is? What's the definition of a slut?
It actually means someone that's dirty and keeps a dirty home. But for me, I think it's ridiculous that there's a group of people trying to reclaim the word slut. I mean, what is that about? Of all the things you would want to do in society now to make it better and to fight for meaningful change, why would you adopt that?
I think we adopted it strictly because the policeman used that word. He could have used, you know,
But
several
are you
other
saying
words.
women should want to be sluts? That being a slut is a acceptable thing?
It's nothing
very
to-
unclear, isn't it, if you go around sort of saying slut walks?
It's
you know.
nothing to do with that. It's very clear. And what we're saying is that that word is used quite powerfully against us. So we'll reappropriate it, thank you very much, and we'll use it so much that it actually loses its meaning in the end.
But it's faux radicalism, isn't it? It's you know, you're trying to present yourselves as being radical for reclaiming the word slut, when actually the most radical thing you could be doing is put this whole discussion about what women are wearing to bed. It's over. Women do wear what they want, and to focus on some of the problems that women really do have today.
Been on what we are wearing and what we're not when we're
It's-
And on
It
that,
doesn't.
because you've got a whole week before the next London
Therefore,
March,
we have
will
to.
leave it there. But
Yeah.
Elizabeth Hurd, Susie Dean, thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Indeed. A reminder of tonight's main news. The Foreign Secretary, William Hague, has arrived in the Libyan city of Benghazi for talks with opposition leaders. He said he was there to show support for the Libyan people, promising Britain would intensify its efforts to stop Colonel Gaddafi abusing his people. Hours earlier, British Apache helicopters launched their first attacks on Libyan targets near the coastal town of Brega. We're back tomorrow, a bit earlier than usual, at 5:20. Until then, that's Channel 4 News. Have a good evening.